Look, I get so many women professing to me that they can't pack light. They're an overpacker. It's almost as if it's just who they are as a person. It's an identity that they're wearing. But at the end of the day, they do in fact want to pack light. So why is it not happening? Well, after 15 years of working with women and helping them to pack light, I think I've been able to put some of the puzzle pieces together. It may have something to do with not appropriately identifying the real reason why they overpack in the first place. It is only then that they can find an adequate solution. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through some of the biggest reasons, four to be exact, why women in particular overpack, along with some ideas for tackling each of them. Perhaps you'll see yourself in one of them. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Now, the first reason is probably the most prevalent, it's the most obvious of them all, and you can be really good at packing in theory, but if you struggle with this problem, you're going to overpack. Like, it just overrides everything. It's something that even I struggle with, and that is fear. Namely, fear of the unknown, or a good case of the what ifs. Because let's face it, travel is unknown after unknown after unknown. As soon as you walk out your front door, nothing is guaranteed, and most of it is unfamiliar, which is totally exciting and it adds to the thrill of travel. But it's also something we are consciously and subconsciously trying to prepare for, probably by adding more stuff to our bags. We might worry that we won't have the perfect thing for every situation. We might worry that we won't have enough to last a trip. We might simply feel that having more things that are familiar with us will make us more confident and comfortable. However, most of the time, these fears are irrational. 14 pairs of underwear for a 5-day trip is a bit excessive, right? But how can you tell if these fears and worries are irrational? Well, if they call to you in the middle of the night to go and add something else to your suitcase, they're probably an irrational fear, at least 99% of the time. So how can we tackle this fear? Well, we'll cover that in the second part of this video, so stick around. Now, the second reason you might overpack could derive from a lack of travel altogether. Like, maybe you're more of a road trip or drive to your destination type of traveler, or perhaps packing is just like this afterthought. You're busy, you're just going through the motions and doing the thing, and you just don't really have time to think about packing. In this case, overpacking could simply come down to a lack of knowledge. Okay, here's the thing. Most of us grew up thinking that packing was just putting your favorite things into a bag, and whatever bag size that was dictated the total amount that you brought for any trip. And packing light, it wasn't a skill you were taught, it wasn't a subject in school, and honestly, it's not something that many people think you need to learn. It's packing. Like, what is there to know? But there's so much to know. Everything from packing organization to the types of fabrics that are more packable and travel friendly. There's coordination of a capsule wardrobe. There's solid toiletries. There's so much to learn. There's so much to be gained. So thinking like it's packing, I should just know how to do it, that's going to keep you stuck in overpacking land. Okay, the third main reason that people overpack, it's pretty common as well, and it causes a ton of issues because of the what ifs. Like, basically, it influences the fear factor in a big way as fuel to the fire. Because how can you know what to pack if you haven't done enough trip planning? Lack of planning will keep you stuck in overpacking land as well. Think about it. If you don't have an itinerary, you don't have something locked in, you're not going to know whether or not you're hiking one day for sure or having a nice dinner the next. You're going to be forever tossing out the what if questions and going back and adding more things to your luggage. In addition, if you haven't planned out a packing list, you're going to waffle when choosing what to bring. And if you haven't researched your destination, you're not going to know how to prepare in the first place. Lack of planning is pretty problematic and will lead people to being overpacked pretty much instantly. Okay, the fourth and final reason I'm going to talk about today as to why people overpack is a category that encompasses several different potential aspects, right? It's something that you might not actually be expecting me to talk about. The previous reasons, they're all very logical, they're pretty travel-y, but this one, I'm talking about your lifestyle. I'm talking about lifestyle and how it affects your packing, and it leads to overpacking time and time again. Okay, so this can be everything from stress to personal issues. All right, let's discuss. So if you have a hectic schedule, you might literally have no time to pack. So you're waiting until the last minute and just tossing everything into a bag that you know works within the airline size restrictions, and you run with it. If you're super stressed out all the time, maybe there are family dramas, there's so many things that could be happening, work dramas, then dealing with packing and learning how to pack better, no, that's just not going to happen. Your brain will literally have a meltdown if that's something new on your to-do list. If your home is untidy and disorganized, you won't be able to find what you need, and packing will take a crazy long time, and instead, you just resort to throwing whatever into a bag and just being happy that you have things to bring with you at all. And if you don't feel good about yourself, oh, such a big one, you are way, way more likely to pack extra stuff. Women have told me over the years that they pack so much stuff because they aren't sure that they'll feel good in anything. And it's hard to be okay with one thing in the bag, so you just pack more things because having more, even if they're not great, it just eases some of that stress from insecurity. So these are all lifestyle related reasons that people tend to overpack, especially women. And the reason I included the if you don't feel good about yourself reason into the mix, it will make more sense when I talk about some of the fixes. So hang tight, all right? All right, so I've just explained the 4 main reasons that women tend to overpack. So there is fear, there's lack of knowledge, there's lack of planning, and lifestyle. So if you know what category you fall into, let me know in the comments. And of course, let's talk about some ways we can address each of these as well. If you chose fear as your reason you overpack, the best thing that you can do is practice. And by practice, I mean take more trips, because the more trips you take, it will help you to see that most things are accessible in most parts of the world. Like there are stores just about everywhere selling the essentials. And you can remind yourself that people live there too, like they make it happen. All right, it's okay. You can also remind yourself that you are only a plane ride away from home. If things got truly bad, you can always go and hop on a plane and just get out of there. I highly recommend developing a backup plan for any of your worries, but here's the kicker. I want you to convince yourself that the answer is already packed in your bag, because I bet you there is a good enough option already there, and knowing that is going to put your fear at ease. Now, if you're still feeling like the fear is taking over, I do have a course called Overcoming Fear, Worry, and What If When Packing that you get access to for free when you purchase a ticket to my packing class, Baggage Freedom Express. So I will link that up below. If you chose lack of knowledge as your reason you overpack, you're in luck, because this is probably the easiest of the reasons to overcome. So take this as a sign to start learning. All right, scroll through the posts on her packing list, read articles, and watch videos on packing. You'll want to pay close attention to travel clothing tips, capsule wardrobes, and minimizing toiletries. But, and this is a strong but, if you start to cross the line into just watching and reading and nothing is changing, I highly recommend a course or a class like those offered at her packing list. Okay, I have so many offerings that can get you started gaining the knowledge that you need to pack smarter today, so I will link some of those up below as well. If you chose a lack of planning as your reason you overpack, well, you'll really want to integrate new steps into your travel process. Like, we all know that there are things that have to happen before we can go on a trip. You have to book tickets, you have to pack a bag, you have to do X, Y, and Z before you leave home. Let's add in destination research, a rough itinerary plan, and packing list creation. When you do those 3 things, you're going to feel way more confident and comfortable with your packing choices and be less likely to succumb to the what-if thoughts. Now, to make this process a bit of a no-brainer, it's really helpful to create a packing system. You won't have to think very hard. You just follow the steps and you get your packing done. And my packing class, Baggage Freedom Express, it can help with that as well. Again, linked up below. And finally, if you chose lifestyle as your reason you overpack, The solution to this problem is really going to be about self-care. Self-care. De-stressing, having some you time to decompress and make yourself feel good. It's going to have an impact on your overall stress level, and that's just going to help you in every facet of life, including packing for a trip. When you gain back that mental bandwidth, you can then see packing as what it is instead of this overwhelming, not gonna happen type of experience. If you're someone who has a super busy schedule, then really lock in a time for packing and self-care well in advance. Like slot it in your calendar as your non-negotiable, it needs to happen session, and do what you can to make that happen. If your home environment is something that is causing you a lot of packing drama, start decluttering, start organizing. The better your home environment feels, the less overwhelmed you are to begin with, and the easier it will be for you to find things, for you to pack, and really you'll start to flex that muscle of being okay with less stuff. And that is important for packing light. Like you need that muscle to be really strong. And finally, self-care is going to help you have a more positive outlook on yourself. But when you're packing, be sure to really pack for who you are. So stay true to yourself, pack what makes you feel comfortable, and identify what things that you own already do make you feel your best. And do what you can to pack those things instead of 100 random things that are all less than stellar in some way, shape, or form. Okay, obviously, this is a harder problem to tackle, but knowing that it's a problem is the first step. Okay, friends, that's going to wrap up today's video talking about the 4 main reasons that women in particular tend to overpack. Please let me know in the comments which one you can relate to. And if you want to make improvements to your packing with me, please consider joining my packing class, Baggage Freedom Express. Like, we really do cover so much in this 5-day class. It's an incredible, fun experience to be a part of, and I hope to see you there. All right, thank you for joining me yet again. Have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.